So to begin, you have the eyes open or closed. You might like to say to yourself as you breathe in, I have arrived. And as you breathe out, I am home. Inhaling, I have arrived. And exhaling, I am home. I have arrived. I am home. You might also like to sigh the breath away 2 or 3 times. And just taking these first few moments of your practice to check in with yourself, take an audit. So become aware of the state of your body, any bodily sensations, any discomfort, any pain, or perhaps any lightness or feeling of openness. And also become aware of the state of your mind. Does the mind feel a little restless or agitated this morning? A little bit dull? Or perhaps you're feeling quite spacious in the mind. And the mind might already be quite connected with the breath. And at this point, we also want to become aware of how we're feeling. So if it feels nice at this point, you can rest your hands over the heart center and just take a few conscious breaths into the heart space, acknowledging any feelings that are bubbling up to the surface. So the invitation at this point is to be present with what is. Present with what is, without attaching a judgment to what we discover. That's the hard bit. The very well-known Indian master Krishnamurti once said, observation without judgment is the highest form of spiritual practice. Observation without judgment is the highest form of spiritual practice. So this leads us on to the focus of our practice this morning, which is a very important sutra from the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Many of you know of this important body of work. Patanjali was said to be a sage who lived thousands of years ago and who synthesized the philosophy of yoga into this book in sutra form. The word sutra means thread. So the sutras are understood to be woven together to form the fabric of yogic philosophy. The most important aspect of the sutras is what they teach us about ourselves and how we function as human beings. So of the 195 sutras in this text, today our focus is Sutra 2.42. Santosha Anuttama Sukala Baha. From contentment, unsurpassed joy and happiness is obtained. This sutra invites us to settle into ourselves as we are. So rather than trying to improve or change ourselves in any way or wish something wasn't so, the intention is to focus on complete acceptance of ourselves as we are right now. And it's believed that from this, acceptance and love for others can follow. Writing on the Yoga Sutras, Bernard Bouchard says, contentment is a dynamic and constructive attitude that brings us to look at things in a new way. It calms the mind, bringing a flowering of subtle joy and inner serenity that are independent of all outside influences and perishable things. So an important part of Santosha involves making room for all of our experiences, the pleasant and the unpleasant, the difficulty and the pain, as well as living without pain, living with ease, good health and ill health, success and failure, perfection and imperfection. The spiritual heart is often understood to be the holder of polarities, of balance. So a large part of our focus this morning will be to draw energy, practices to awaken the spiritual heart center, Anahata chakra. To begin, we're going to work with a very powerful breathing practice to stimulate Anahata, Brahmari Pranayam. It's a beautiful practice if you're not familiar with it. It's the humming bee breath. So we're going to be making a sound like a bee humming. So just make sure that you're still in a comfortable position. If you're sitting, that the spine is as upright as possible. And we're going to work with this practice in a few different ways, beginning with the hands over the heart space. Now you can find, as you work with this, your own tone. So if yours is a bit higher pitched than mine, that's fine, or a bit lower, that's fine. Again, we're not wanting to make any judgment about the sound that comes out of our mouth. So the hands are over the heart, and in a moment we're going to take the arms out to the side, and on the exhalation we'll hum the hands back to the heart. And if you like, you can imagine as you're bringing the hands back that it's a welcoming and an accepting of all of our experiences, all of what we're going through in life. It's a welcoming into the heart, an acknowledgement that the heart can hold this, our experiences and our what we're currently going through in life. So we're going to work with 6 rounds of breath. You can welcome to watch the first one if you're not quite sure. So lengthening up through the crown top, face soft, shoulders still relaxed down. Exhaling. And then breathing in, open the arms out to the side, lift your heart. 5 more like this, breathing in. Let's keep going. You can go at your own pace. And one more. When you finish, just rest the hands there for a moment, check in with yourself. So now we're going to move to the second part of this practice, which is the more traditional Brahmari, where we actually close off our hearing. So we use the thumbs or the index fingers to block off our ears. Now, traditionally the hands are up like this, but if that's a bit intense for your shoulders, you can always be like this, closing off the ears. The eyes can be closed as well. Now, some people can feel a little bit claustrophobic. If that's you, you might prefer to keep the eyes open, or if you don't like closing off the ears, just keep the hands down or even on your heart. Okay, otherwise, let's do 6 of these. So deep breath in. Face stays soft and relaxed. Keep going. When you finish the 6, just release the hands down, sit quietly for a moment, observing the effects of the practice. Might be very subtle. All right, now the third part is to incorporate what's called Shun Muki Mudra. This is a pretty intense mudra if you're not familiar with it. Shun Muki means closing the 7 gates or doorways of perception. So it's actually closing off more of the senses, the outside world, so our awareness travels deeper inward. If you've got glasses on, you'll need to take those off. We're going to close off our ears, our sense of hearing. We're going to rest the index fingers on the eyelids so we can't see. We're going to rest the middle fingers on the bridge of the nose. So when we're humming, we actually are blocking off our ability to smell. And then the ring finger is on the upper lip, the little finger's on the lower lip. So we're blocking off our mouth as well. When we need to inhale, we just release the pressure on the nose. So we breathe in through the nose and then we hum. So let's try 6 of these. And again, if it doesn't feel good, feel free to just drop this extra mudra. So let's exhale and then breathing in. So 5 more. When you finish, release the hand down. There's no hurry. So that practice is also connected to the 5th limb of yoga, pratyahara, which is about withdrawing the senses to help us move inward for the higher practices of yoga, meditation. So the dharana, dhyana, samadhi, 6th, 7th, and 8th limb of yoga. Okay, a lot of information. Let's work with our last part of this practice, which is to sit. If we're sitting with a nice tall spine, if you're lying down, just make sure you're relaxed. The spine is in alignment. And we're going to do 6 silent hums. So eyes can be open or closed, just beginning when you're ready. Breathe in. Gazing down to Anahata chakra, the spiritual heart center. When you finish, sit for a moment, again, just observing any little shifts or changes. And you might like to sigh the breath away. All right, let's start to add some movement. We're going to go straight into wheeling the body. So if you're lying down, come over to one side, come up to sit either cross-legged or kneeling or legs stretched out in front of you, and just starting to wheel or circle the upper body. If the legs are crossed, the hands are on your knees. I'm going to move back to the mat. Nice, slow circles. Make sure that you're not gripping the jaws together, relaxing the teeth, the tongue, skin of the face soft. Not too many of these. The next time you come forward, just reach the hands forward, bowing the head down. And then just walk your hands over to the right side. So you're coming down over that right thigh. We're going to walk the hands around the front and all the way around to the left as far as we can. Lift the right arm up, left arm follows. So 2 more of these. We're making nice large circles. Lift the right arm up, left arm follows. 1 more. Good. And then come back to center. If the legs are crossed, you might like to change them over. If they're extended, keep them as they are. And then let's circle in the opposite direction. I'd like to keep your gaze, your drishti, directed down towards Anahata as much as you can this morning. Gazing down to the center of the chest. And then again, the next time you come forward, let's take the arms forward, bowing the head down. Walking the hands over to the left side. And then walk your hands around to the right as far as you can. Left arm lifts, right arm follows. 2 more of these. Good. Coming back to center when it's time and slowly lift yourself up. All right, hands are onto the knees. So again, you might still be sitting in a chair or you might have the hands here or be in a kneeling position. We're going to work with a seated cat. So as we exhale, rounding the back, look down towards your heart and breathe in. Move the chest forward, shoulders back, tilt the head to look up. Exhale, rounding the back, look towards your heart. Inhale, move the chest forward, shoulders back. Let's do a few more of these. Go at your own pace. You can keep it really slow, or you might like to speed it up this morning. Just tuning into what your body would like from you this morning. Listening to the wisdom of your own body, the wisdom of your any bodily sensations. What are they trying to signal to you today? Good. Now we're going to keep this same movement with our spine, but change our arm position. So taking your fingertips onto your shoulders, lift the chest, draw them back. And then as you exhale, squeeze your elbows together. Inhale, open them up wide, tilt the chin up. Exhale, elbows touch. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more like this. Then we're going to change it again. Exhale. Okay, now we're opening the arms up wide like they're wings of a bird. Exhale, squeeze your palms together. Look down towards your heart. Inhale, spread your wings wide. Exhale, press the palms together. 2 more like this. Good, and this time keep the palms pressing together. Interlace your fingers, turn the palms away, and inhale, stretch the arms overhead. Now, if you can, keep them interlaced, but if this is a bit intense for your shoulders, you can separate the arms. Pressing down into the sit bones, lengthening up through the spine, all the way up the arms to the palms of your hands. We're going to take this into a twist. So breathe in, lengthen up, and then we're twisting to the left. Turning to look over the left shoulder, chin parallel to the floor, sitting up nice and tall, face soft. Now you're welcome to stay in the twist, or we're going to add a little bit of an extra lateral stretch. Have a look if you're not sure. So we're going to keep the right hand to the outside edge of the left knee. And as we breathe in, we're going to lift this left arm up and try to angle it over the head. So I'm trying to draw my right shoulder down towards the right knee and breathe into that left side of the torso. This is these side rib cage area is, we can imagine as being like windows to the heart energy center, anahata. So breathe in through that window. Good, gently come back up, come back into the twist for a breath or two. And then inhale, come back to center, stretch the arms overhead, palms touch. And exhale, let's twist to the right side. So same thing. Holding the twist for a few breaths to begin, lengthening up through the crown top, chin parallel to the floor. Trying not to lean back into that right hand too much, right fingers, using the muscles of your back to keep you upright. Now you're welcome to stay in the twist or add the lateral stretch. Inhale, lifting the right arm up, and exhale, leaning over to the left. Right arm up and over, drawing that left shoulder down towards the left knee and breathing into that right side of the torso. Letting the window open wide to bring in fresh energy, prana. Allow it to circulate around your heart, massage your heart. Good, and then gently return into the twist for a couple of breaths. And return to center. Okay, if you need to change your leg position, you can. We're going to just work with a gentle stretch for the neck. So breathe in, lengthen up through the crown top, nice, tall, long spine. And as you exhale, tilt the left ear to the left shoulder. Now, as we do this, let's walk the right fingers away from the body. Be on your fingertips. We can stay here if this feels strong enough and breathe into this right side of the neck. If you want to take it a little bit further, bring this left arm up and just gently cup your left ear. So we're not forcing or yanking the head down. It's a gentle hold of the ear. Sometimes it can be nice even to block off the sense of hearing and really tune into your breath. Good. Gently release the left arm down. Bring the head back to center. Another deep breath in. Lengthen up through the spine, right up to the crown top. And exhale, right ear to shoulder. Now we're walking the left fingers away. Noticing how this side feels. Might feel very different to the first side. Either staying like this or bring the right arm up to gently cup your left ear, perhaps blocking off our sense of hearing to really tune into the sound of our breath. Imagine you can breathe into that left side of the neck. Relaxing that left shoulder down. One more breath here. And gently release. Return the head to center. Deep breath in. And side away. Okay. Let's come to kneel. Some of you may already be there. Either a low kneel, and you can have some support between the thighs and the calves or under the ankles, or some of you might like to come in more of an upright position. So we believe there are minor chakras, minor energy centers in the hands that are the hands and fingers and arms and shoulders and lungs are connected to the heart chakra. So we're working quite a bit with these areas this morning. We're going to do this next practice can actually stimulate and awaken the chakras in the hands. So we take the arms forward, we turn one palm up, the other palm is down, and we're going to make fists as fast as we can 12 times. Then turn the palms over and do 12 more. Then bring the palms together, give them a nice rub until they feel lovely and warm. And then we're going to rest our palms over our shoulders. Give ourselves a lovely hug, lovely warm hug, holding it there, a couple of breaths. Sending some warmth, some energy into the shoulders, some tenderness, some care. And then you can just rub your hands down your arms. Give yourself a little bit of a massage. Rub the elbows. Loving touch down your forearms. Wrists. You do one at a time. And then the hands and the fingers. Give them a little bit of a massage. And shake it out. All right, next practice is a chest tapping breath to stimulate the thymus gland, which is connected to our immune system and connected to Anahata chakra. So with this one, we're going to use fingertips. We do 2 light taps and then a stronger thump. So you can just do this at your own time. We'll do it for about a minute, all over the upper chest. Good. And then let's gently just rest the hands over the heart. Take a breath or two here. You might like to sigh the breath away. Again, just observing the effects of the practice. And then bring your hands into Namaskar Mudra, prayer position at the heart space. Relax your shoulders. We're going to go through 3 rounds of circle of joy. So on your next inhalation, interlace your fingers, raise the elbows. And as we exhale, we take the hands forward, we round the back. Inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. And let the arms float down. Interlace the fingers behind, breathe into the heart. Try and bring your palms together here. Squeeze the shoulder blades and lift your arms up. Inhale, bring the palms back to touch. And exhale. Opposite index finger in front. So again, opposite index finger in front. Try to bring your palms together here. Lift your arms up. Last one. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift the arms up. And hands back to the heart. Take a breath there. And release your hands. We're going to come into extended child. So knees hip width or mat width apart, big toes touching. Extend the arms forward. Your ears are between your arms. So once you settle into the pose, find your breath. We're looking for a long, smooth inhalation and a long, smooth exhalation. And if you are counting the breath, imagine that the inhale and exhale were the same count. So we're looking for balance with the breath, with the inhale, the exhale, with giving out and receiving. While you're holding the pose, I'd like to just share with you a little quote from a very well-known book on the chakras. It's called Wheels of Life by Judith. She says, breath is one of the primary keys to opening the heart chakra. Each inhalation of air immediately enters the bloodstream. Oxygen must be constantly supplied to each and every cell, or the cells quickly die. For this reason, the body has a thorough and elaborate transportation system to distribute oxygen throughout the entire body. This is our circulatory system, mastered by the heart. Each breath nourishes and feeds this system. All right, let's start to add some movement now. We're going to work with a flowing sequence, moving from child into cat, back into child. And if you'd like to join with me, we'll add some humming on the exhale back into child. So let's do 5 of these. Exhale all breath. Breathing in, coming up into cat, and humming back. Let's keep going. Awareness to Anahata. And last one. Pause here for a breath. Now let's drop the humming and inhale, come up into cat. This time we're going to tuck the toes and move into down face dog pose. Hold for one breath. Coming back down onto your knees and into child. Let's continue with this. Breathe yourself into cat. Let the heart lead. Exhale, down face dog pose, holding for 2 breaths if you like this time. When it's time, you lower back down and drop into child. Breathe in to cat. Exhale, down face dog pose, 3 breaths, but know that you can come down early if that's better for you this morning, especially if you have any sinus congestion or if you've had some headaches lately. You wouldn't want to stay here too long. Perhaps just 1 breath and then come back down. Lowering onto your knees and into child. Now this is our last one. Breathe yourself into cat. Face soft. Down face dog pose. 4 breaths here this time. If the legs are feeling quite tight, you can bend one leg and then the other. Just do what feels good for you at this point. Fingers spread wide, face soft. We're not going to come down to the floor at the end of our time here. We're going to walk our feet towards our hands and hang in Uttanasana, the forward bend. So feet are at least hip width apart. Legs can be bent or straight. And you might like to lift up halfway. Come up onto your fingertips or hands onto your shins. And then exhale, let yourself fold forward. Let the upper body be nice and loose and relaxed. You might like to sigh the breath away. Good. Take your hands onto your hips and very carefully and safely come up. Good. Give it a bit of a shake. All right, we're going to come forward again. So you can do Uttanasana as we just did, hands onto your hips. Or if you'd like to try something a little bit different this morning, we're going to cross one leg over the other, 1 foot over the other. Doesn't matter which one to begin. Deep breath in, open the front of the body, and then as you exhale, start to come forward. You can keep the hands onto the hips. Some of you might like to bring your fingertips down to the thigh or down, fingertips to the floor. And we're holding this stretch, connecting with the breath. To come out of it, very carefully, take the hands back onto the hips and come up. And of course, we've got to do the other side. So bring the other foot around. Might feel quite different on this side. Deep breath in, breathe into the heart space, and let's carefully fold forward. So hands may stay on your hips or come to the thigh or fingertips to the floor. Good. Now we're going to carefully come up, hands onto our hips. Lift yourselves up and give it a bit of a shake. All right. So feet are hip width apart. Spread your toes, shoulders back. We're going to come back now to our shoulders and our arms. I'll do it sideways. We're going to take the arms up above the head. I think most of you know this one. I know some of you hate this one. We're going to be swinging one arm forward and the other arm back, and you can have a little bob with the legs. So if you find this really challenging, keep it slow. Otherwise, you can speed this up. It's also a great energizing practice. It can really help us feel alive. Good. And then pause, arms above the head. Make sure you're not gripping the earth. Have a look at your feet. My toes started to claw up a little bit. Let's do the opposite arm forward. How does this side feel? Does it feel the same as the first, or does it feel quite different? Keep it slow if you need to. Otherwise, you can speed it up. And release it down. Give the arms a shake. All right, feet hip width. Take the arms out to the side. So a little bit more work for our shoulders. One palm up, the other palm is down. Now try to relax your shoulders, and we're going to rotate. So swapping the palm, one turns up and then you turn it down. Keep trying to relax the shoulders, make sure they don't tense up. The palm that's facing up, try to turn the little finger side of that hand up more than the other fingers. Face soft. How are we going? Of course, you can drop it if it becomes a bit intense. Good, 2 more. And let it go. Bring the hands over the heart. Come to the backs of your mat, standing into Tadasana. Sigh the breath away, soften the shoulders, and let's do some humming together, humming into the heart 5 times. Breathe in. When you finish, I invite you to bring your hands now into Lotus Mudra at your heart space. So if you're not familiar with Lotus, the inner edges of the thumbs and the inner edges of the little fingers are touching and the other fingers are spread wide. So you're creating your beautiful flower, your own precious flower, and it rests at the heart space. And we're just gazing down into the center of this flower, and just you might like to whisper a few times the word Santosha into your flower, or another word that really captures your intention for your practice today, why you came to your mat, what was it that you hoped to achieve or acquire through the practice. So it can be different for each one of us. So it might be the word Santosha, contentment, acceptance, the ability to be present with what is, or it might be something completely different. So the beautiful thing about the lotus flower in spiritual practice is that it has the ability to contain both the mud and the bloom, the lotus bloom, an acknowledgement that both is needed on our journey through life. So let's now go through 5 rounds of our devotional salute. Feel free to watch if you're not quite sure of this sequence. Beautiful practice, and we're going to start with the hands in Lotus Mudra. As we inhale, let's allow our flower to bloom up, move up through, imagine it's moving up through the water, breaking the surface, and then just let the arms open wide. So you become the flower. And then as you exhale, bring the palms back to touch. Your palms touch your forehead, your heart, and then we connect with the mud. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, come back down into extended child, sliding along the floor, palms together. Now we're right in the middle of the mud. Let yourself sink down. Breathe in and bend your arms. Inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale into Sphinx. Come back down. Bring your hands alongside your chest, elbows tucked in. Breathe in, lift into Cobra, Bhujangasana, back into extended child. Tuck your toes, hands alongside your knees. Inhale, come up. And hands back to Lotus Mudra at your heart. So 4 more of these. Breathe in. Let your flower bloom beautifully. Open the arms up wide. Look up. Bring your palms back together to your third eye, to your heart, and down to the mud. Inhale. Exhale, honoring the role of mud in our lives. Extend the arms, come to lie down in that beautiful, relaxing mud. Inhale, bend your arms. Straighten the arms into Sphinx. Come back down, hands alongside your chest, elbows tucked in. Inhale. Back into extended child. Tuck your toes. Inhale, come up. And back to Lotus Mudra. Breathe in, open the arms up, look up. Palms together to your forehead, to your heart, and to the mud. Inhale. Extended child. Sliding along the floor, palms together. Breathe in, bend your arms. Straighten into Sphinx. Straighten. Hands back alongside your chest. Inhale, extended child. Tuck your toes. Breathe in. Lotus Mudra. 2 more. Palms together. Forehead, heart, and down to the mud. Inhale. Extended child. Sliding along the floor. Palms together. Breathe in. Bend your arms. Straighten into Sphinx. Come back down. Hands alongside your chest. Inhale. Extended child. Tuck your toes. Breathe in. Lotus Mudra. Last one without my voice. When you finish, standing into Tadasana, hands in Lotus Mudra at the heart space. And I'd like to sigh the breath away a couple of times. Soften the shoulders, soften your face. And release. How are we going? All right, let's stand into Tadasana. We're going to move into a variation of tree, Vrikshasana. Very much about, we're working with this idea of balance, trying to contain polarities this morning, which is the holder of polarities being the heart. So let's shift the weight into the left foot and pick up the right. So if you're feeling really wobbly, you can be near a wall or have a chair near you, either to the ankle, you can start down low, or to the upper thigh, just not against the inner knee. So this is our traditional part of tree. If you'd like to add an extra element, we're going to incorporate Ganesha Mudra. Ganesha is the elephant god. He is the remover of obstacles, helps us deal with challenges in life. So it's a good icon or symbol to have to be focusing on at the moment. It involves a bear grip. So we're going to take the arms above the head and take that bear grip. And it's like you're trying to pull your hands apart. Now draw the elbows back. Breathe into the heart space. So this mudra also, the position of the hands, helps to stimulate the physical heart, but also stimulate anahata, our heart energy center. So nice deep breaths. And if you want to take it even further, a bit more of a challenge, we're going to see if we can lean over to the right side. And again, we're opening up the window in that left side of the rib cage. So breathe into that space. Send some beautiful, fresh energy into the heart. And then let's come back to an upright position. Release the hands, release the leg. Take a breath, and then we'll try the other side. So weight into the right foot, pick up the left, either to the ankle or a little bit higher. And then we're going to take a bear grip again, but opposite than what you did before, if you can remember. Elbows back. Nice open heart. Breathe into the heart space here. Keep the face soft. Now you can stay like this or try to lean over, opening that window on the right side of the rib cage. Breathe in to the heart through that window. Good. And come back upright. Release the hands, release the leg. All right, let's go into Trikonasana. Take the legs wide. Turn your right toes around, left toes in. Deep breath in. Raise the arms. Turn to the right. Leaning over. Take the hand down, left arm up or on your hip if that's better for your shoulder. Now, depending on your neck, you might look to your right big toe. You might look forward. Some of you might look up. And breathe. All right, let's bring the head to neutral. Inhale, come up. Try and keep the arms extended as you turn the legs around. And as you exhale, lean over to the left side. Right arm up or on your hip if that's better for your shoulder. So again, be careful of your neck, either looking to your big toe forward or up towards that right thumb. Make sure you're not clenching the teeth. Keep the face soft. And then bring the head to neutral. Inhale, come up. And exhale. Release the legs. Legs wide. So this is our last standing pose. And then we're going to come down to the floor. Turn the right toes around, left toes in. Legs are a little bit wider this time because we're going to be bending the front leg for warrior two. Inhale, raise the arms, turn to the right. Exhale. So we don't want the knee to come over the ankle. That's why we usually need a bit of a wider stance. Any shoulder issues, you may rest a hand on a hip. Otherwise, the arms are in a straight line. We're softening the shoulders and we're gazing along that right middle finger. Not leaning over the bent leg. So you might like to imagine someone's gently tugging you back by your left wrist. So ideally the spine is perpendicular to the floor. Let's go into dancing warrior. Inhale, turn that right palm up, and exhale, windmill the arms back. So here again, we've got the opportunity to breathe into that window in the right side of the rib cage. Inhale, back into warrior two. And exhale. Let's turn the legs around. And again, breathe in, raise the arms, turn to the left. Virabhadrasana 2. Make sure the knee's not coming over the ankle. Soften your shoulders. Option to rest a hand on a hip if that's better for your shoulders. Otherwise, the arms are in a straight line and we're imagining we're gently being pulled back by our right wrist. Spine perpendicular to the floor. Face soft. Okay, let's move into dancing warrior. Inhale, turn that left palm up, windmill the arms backwards. Now breathing into the window to our heart on that left side of the rib cage. Good. Now we're not coming up to stand. So inhale, come up, and we're going to windmill the arms around and bring them on either side of the left foot and come back into dog. If you are quite low in energy this morning and you would prefer to rest at this point, come to lie down onto your tummies. Otherwise, the rest of us will do a little bit more work here in dog. And perhaps coming forward into plank if you'd like to. So the body's in a nice straight line, shoulders are over the wrists. Breathing, opening the back of the knees. And when you've had enough in plank, you can try lowering yourself down through Chaturanga Dandasana, elbows squeezing in, hover off the floor for a moment, and then lower yourself all the way down, resting one hand on top of the other, your chin or your forehead on your hands, and just take a rest. And I'd like to sigh the breath away. While you're having a little rest, I'd like to share another passage with you from a very well-known yoga teacher in America called Judith Hansen Lasseter. She says, in order to be content, one must have won and lost, gained and given up, been up and been down. In order to be content, one must have lived fully. Contentment is the willingness to live in this present moment. It is the willingness to accept the failure and success of this very minute. In order to do this, we must become a wide container so that we can hold all of this moment. Santosha is the ability to remain present with, and in fact remain happy with, the circumstances of just this moment. This may be, in fact, the secret to life. Simply be content with hard work or no work, riches or not, difficulty or ease. If one lives with Santosha, as Patanjali suggests, then one can live in joy regardless of what happens next. What a delightful concept. What a delightful way to live. Okay, let's come into Sphinx. So we'll stay in Sphinx for a little while. Gentler back bend than Cobra. Those of you who like to do something a bit stronger, you're welcome to come into Bhujangasana Cobra and hold that. We're going to incorporate some humming. So if your back's feeling super strong, your feet may be together, otherwise hip width or even mat width apart. And for Sphinx, we are going to take the hands level with our face, forehead on the mat, and inhale, slowly come up. So we keep our forearms down, and ideally our arms are creating a lovely right angle. So you might need to just adjust them a little bit to create that. Otherwise you're up into Cobra. Face soft, eyes can be open or closed. And while we're here, let's work with 5 hums, directing the humming sound into Anahata chakra. So breathing in. When you finish, gently lower down. Take a breath there. And then let's take one arm above the head and roll over onto the back. Bring the knees into the chest. Give yourselves a lovely hug. And if you like, on your next inhale, stretch the legs up to the sky, arms out to the side or up and overhead. And exhale, come back home. You might even lift your head towards your knees if that's okay for your neck. 2 more of these. Inhale, legs up. And exhale. Last one. Good. Lower your head. Bring the feet down to the mat, and we're going to move into a twist before we come to rest in Shavasana. So those of you who like a stronger twist, your feet will be in the air. The rest of us can have the feet on the mat, hip width apart, arms out at shoulder height, palms facing up. Check that your head, neck and spine are in a straight line. Press the lower back down and then breathe in. Let's lower the knees over to the right side. Now you may like to lift the right foot up and place it on the outer edge of the left knee. You may also like to turn to look towards your left fingers. Relax your left shoulder, soften the face, and have a few breaths here. Let's gently release the right foot down, return yourself to center, and drop the knees over to the left side. Perhaps left foot on the outer edge of the right knee. Head may turn to the right. Soften your right shoulder. A few breaths here. Gently come back to center. You can give yourselves another lovely hug. And if there's any last movement your body would like before resting, please honor that now. So just spend the next minute getting the body ready for Shavasana. Might like to pop your socks on or grab yourself some cushions or a bolster for under your knees, blanket. So just take your time, there's no hurry. I might sigh the breath away. If we're talking about balance today in our practice, you have just put in a lot of effort. And in Shavasana, there is meant to be no effort. So this is time for you to receive. Nothing to do, nothing more to be done. Just to focus on letting go. So when you are ready to let go, you might like to start by saying to yourself as you inhale, I have arrived. And as you exhale, I am home. I'd like to share a little passage with you. It's a bit of a favorite of mine. I've probably first read this about 20 years ago. I know some of you will have heard it before. It's nice to come back to every now and then. It's by a guy called Alan Seale in a book he wrote called Intuitive Living. Making this journey to the heart is all about finding your way home. Home to the essence of you. Home to your heart. At home in your heart, there is nothing to defend. There are no borders to protect, no wars to wage with others over freedom or its loss, no laws to break or uphold. There are no judgments of others or manipulation games to play, financial investments to protect, or people or situations over which to exercise power and control. There is just pure love. So as you allow your body and mind to drop down, I invite you to visualize yourself at the edge of a beautiful forest. There's a winding path in front of you, and you begin your journey forth, feeling no fear, no anxiety. This is to be a joyous journey. As you walk along the path, you notice the trees, the foliage. You might like to reach down and smell the earth. Take some damp soil in your hands, feel it, smell it. And then continuing to walk along the path, but pausing every now and then to touch the bark of a tree or brush your hand along a fern. Keep walking. With every step, you feel lighter, happier. Noticing the many shades of green here in the forest, the multitude of colours, some subtle and others stark and bright. Perhaps reaching out to grab some leaves and crush them in your hand. Smell their scent. Noticing tiny flowers on the forest floor. With every step, you feel lighter and freer. Looking up through the trees to the blue sky above. Stretching your neck back to look up the long, tall tree trunks. Opening all of your senses to this beautiful place. After some time, you see before you a quietly flowing stream with crystal clear water flowing over rocks and logs, a stream edged with ferns. On a large rock by the water sits a very wise and loving being. You stop to look over at them and then to ever so slowly move closer. This being smiles at you, and immediately you receive a message that they are the one who knows love. This being asks you to join them, and you accept the invitation. Spend some time now in the presence of this being. Ask them any questions you may have about love, or simply be in their presence. Trust that you know what to do, what you want to say, what you want to ask. Ask the deepest, most important questions. You now have 1 more minute of clock time, which is all the time you need to be with and learn from the one who knows love. Now it is time to prepare to leave the one who knows love. You thank them, and as you prepare to depart, this being reaches out to you and offers a gift. Simply the gift of love. You take the gift and hold it at your heart space. It glows warm and golden. You now turn and begin to walk back along the winding path towards the edge of the forest. You are filled with joy and energy. So you might like to run or skip or sing or hum. Do whatever you want to do to express your happiness, your joy. And then finally, you reach the edge of the forest and stop to catch your breath. Inhaling the fresh air of the open expanse, the sky. Inhaling love and exhaling love. Fully absorbing the gift of love. And then very, very gently starting to bring your awareness back into your room, into the here and now, becoming a little more conscious of your breath. I'd like to rest your hands over your heart space. Feel the chest rise and fall with the breath. If you'd like to remain lying down a little longer, please feel free to do that. Otherwise, gently rolling over onto your side and make your way very slowly up into a seated position. We'll close our practice together this morning with one Om. So feel free to join with me if you'd like to, or just listen. We'll bring the hands together at the heart space. Taking a deep breath in. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for joining me this morning. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Feel free to write a chat comment if you'd like to. Otherwise, you can unmute yourself if you'd like.